Hey Tomofun team, welcome to Culture Class. I'm Joy, and today we're learning about a powerful tool that will change how you see problems and create solutions. Levels of perspective.
Hi everyone, I'm Sunny. Think of this episode as getting a superpower for your brain. We'll show you how to move beyond just quick fixes and start solving problems in a way that really makes a difference. Let's get started.
Imagine an iceberg floating in the sea. The part you see above the water is just a tiny bit. That's like events. Events are things that just happened. A bug report, a customer complaint, a sudden sales drop.
But there's a huge part of the iceberg hidden underwater. That's like the deeper levels of perspective. Let's go through them from shallow to deep.
First, events. What just happened? Second, patterns. What continues to happen? Third, systems. What causes this pattern to be maintained? Fourth, mental models. What is it about our thinking that allows this situation to persist? And lastly, vision. What do we want? What do we truly want to achieve? So, levels of perspective is about looking at the whole iceberg, not just the tip. It's about understanding the deeper levels to solve problems effectively.
Now, why is it so important to look at the deeper levels, especially systems and vision? Why can't we just handle events as they come?
Think of it like a doctor treating a patient. If you only treat the symptoms, like giving medicine for a fever, the illness might come back if you don't find and fix the cause of the fever. Reacting to events is like treating symptoms. It's a quick fix, but often temporary.
Exactly. If we only react to events, we're stuck in firefighting mode. For example, if our website keeps slowing down, event, and we just keep restarting the server, reaction, the slowness will keep coming back. We're not solving the real problem.
To truly solve it, we need to look at the system. What part of our website infrastructure is causing the slowness? Maybe it's old servers, inefficient code, or too much traffic. Fixing the system gives us a lasting solution.
And aiming for the vision is like having a long-term health goal for the patient, not just treating immediate sickness. Our vision guides us to create solutions that not only fix problems, but also move us towards what we truly want to achieve as a company. That's why it matters. Deeper thinking leads to smarter, more lasting solutions aligned with our goals.
Here's a key idea. Your vision is like a compass. It tells you which direction to go, and different visions will lead to very different actions, even when facing the same situation.
Think of two companies in the same market. They might see the same problems and opportunities, but if they have different visions, they'll choose very different paths to success. Let's see how this works with real examples.
Okay, Sunny, let's use something everyone can relate to. Wanting to lose weight. Let's imagine two people, person A and person B, who both decide they want to lose weight, but they have different visions about why and how.
Perfect. Losing weight is definitely something most people have thought about. So, let's see how our levels of perspective framework applies to person A and person B. Let's start with person A.
Sounds good. So, at the event level, what's a common experience someone trying to lose weight might have?
Well, a key event for person A was that they stepped on the scale one morning and saw they had gained a pound, even though they felt like they were trying hard. This can be discouraging.
Okay, so that's the immediate event, a frustrating weight gain. But is weight loss just about day-to-day fluctuations? Let's look at the pattern level.
No, it's not just one day. The pattern person A noticed was that their weight kept going up and down like a roller coaster. Some weeks they'd lose weight, then they'd gain it back, especially after weekends. It wasn't consistent progress.
Right, a pattern of inconsistent weight loss. So what did person A realize was causing this pattern at the systematic structure level?
At the systematic structure level, person A realized their approach to weight loss was the problem. They were doing fad diets, cutting out carbs completely one week, then trying juice cleanses the next. Their eating habits were all over the place and not sustainable. So the system they had created for themselves was actually contributing to the problem.
Interesting. So now we get to the mental model level. What was person A's initial thinking, their starting assumption about weight loss?
Their mental model initially was that weight loss is all about quick fixes and drastic measures. They thought if they just found the right magic bullet diet or workout, they could lose weight fast. The more extreme, the better kind of thinking.
Okay, that's a common mindset. But then their mental model likely shifted, right?
Exactly. After the roller coaster pattern, they realized that quick fixes weren't working. Their mental model evolved to understanding that sustainable weight loss is about long-term lifestyle changes and consistency. They needed to think about healthy habits, not just temporary diets.
And finally, how did Person A's vision guide their actions in response to this?
Person A's vision, let's say, was to achieve rapid weight loss to fit into a specific outfit for an upcoming event. Because of this vision, they initially doubled down on the quick fix approach. They might try even more extreme diets or workouts, hoping to force faster results before the event. Their vision of a fast outcome pushed them to continue the unsustainable roller coaster approach, at least initially. Now let's look at Person B. They also want to lose weight, but their approach and their vision are different.
Okay, so what was an event that Person B experienced?
For Person B, an event was that they felt consistently tired and sluggish throughout the day. They realized this was impacting their energy levels and their overall mood.
And what pattern did they notice? Was it similar to Person A's weight fluctuations?
Not really. The pattern Person B found wasn't about weight going up and down dramatically. Instead, Person B repeatedly noticed that when they ate healthy meals and moved their body regularly, they consistently felt better, more energetic, happier, and less sluggish. It was a positive feedback loop.
So the pattern was more about feeling better and having more energy. How did Person B interpret this at the systematic structure level?
At the systematic structure level, Person B concluded that their daily habits were the key. They realized that focusing on consistent healthy eating, like adding more vegetables, cooking at home more often, and incorporating regular physical activity they enjoyed, like hiking or dancing, created a sustainable and positive system for them.
And what about Person B's mental model? How did they think about weight loss based on these patterns?
Person B's mental model became focused on holistic well-being and long-term health. Instead of seeing weight loss as the primary goal, they realized it was more about improving their overall health and energy levels. Weight loss became a side effect of healthy living rather than the main target.
And how did Person B's vision shape their response?
Person B's vision for weight loss is centered around living a healthier, more energetic life and feeling good in their own skin. Because of this vision, they focused on building sustainable, healthy habits. They chose exercise they enjoyed, focused on nourishing their body with whole foods, and prioritized feeling good over just seeing a number on the scale. Their vision of long-term well-being led them to a gradual, habit-based approach.
Wow, Sunny, that's super clear. So even though both Person A and Person B wanted to lose weight and face challenges, their different visions, Person A aiming for rapid, appearance-focused weight loss, and Person B prioritizing long-term health and energy, led them to take very different paths and develop very different kinds of lifestyles.
Exactly. It really shows how your vision, the highest level of perspective, deeply influences the actions and strategies you take at every level. Understanding your vision, in this case, why you want to lose weight, is key to understanding why you make the choices you do and how to solve problems in a way that truly aligns with your goals, whether it's weight loss, building a business, or anything else. Okay, let's take a Furbo example we all know, our AI barking alert. It used to send out a lot of false alarms, right?
Sure, Sunny, the Furbo barking alert is a perfect example of how we can apply levels of perspective to improve our product and customer experience. Let's break it down. What was the initial event that told us there was a problem?
The event was simple. Customers were reporting that Furbo's AI barking alert was notifying them even when their dog wasn't barking. They were getting alerts for no reason.
Right, annoying notifications when nothing was actually happening. Was this just a few isolated cases, or did we see a pattern?
Definitely a pattern. We started noticing multiple customer complaints over time. It wasn't just a one-time glitch or a few isolated incidents. We were getting consistent feedback that the barking alert was triggering too often and incorrectly.
Okay, so a pattern of false alarms. So we dug deeper into the systematic structure. What did we find was causing this pattern?
When we looked into the systematic structure, we discovered that our AI was picking up all sorts of background noises. Things like TVs, music, even other dogs barking on television nearby. The AI was too sensitive and wasn't good at distinguishing a real dog bark from other sounds.
So the AI's sound detection system was too broad. That leads us to the mental model level. What was our initial thinking when we designed the barking alert? What was our starting assumption?
Our initial mental model was that a highly sensitive AI would be the best. We thought, let's make sure it catches every single bark. We were focused on sensitivity, thinking more detection was always better.
But that mental model turned out to be a bit flawed, didn't it? What did we realize we hadn't considered enough?
We realized we hadn't fully considered the customer experience. We were so focused on sensitivity, we forgot that users want accuracy, not just sensitivity. Getting tons of false alarms is actually worse than missing a few real barks. It's annoying and makes the feature less useful.
Exactly. So we shifted our mental model to prioritize accuracy over just raw sensitivity. And how did our vision for Furbo guide us in fixing this?
Our vision, remember, is to bring joy and innovation to every pet parent in the world. For the barking alert, this meant we aimed for a smarter AI that accurately detects barking. The vision pushed us to reduce those annoying false alerts, while still making sure we kept pets safe by alerting owners to real barking when needed.
So instead of just tweaking the sensitivity dial, we had to rethink our approach, right?
Not exactly rework the entire model from scratch, but we definitely prioritized accuracy over pure sensitivity in the existing model. We changed our mental model to better align with our vision, focusing on delivering a feature that actually helps users feel more connected and secure with their pets, rather than just maximizing raw detection capability, even if it meant lots of false alarms.
That makes perfect sense. So by shifting our mindset and looking at the bigger picture through levels of perspective, we were able to improve the product experience significantly, making the barking alert much more useful and less annoying without needing to completely overhaul everything.
Exactly. Sometimes solving a problem isn't about making drastic, complicated changes. It's about understanding the deeper levels, especially your vision and mental models, and then focusing on the right priorities to align with them. And that's the power of levels of perspective in action. So how do we actually use levels of perspective when we face a problem at Tomofun? What are the practical steps we can take?
It's actually quite simple. Here's a 5-step action plan. First, name the event. What's the immediate issue? Remember to be specific, like customer support tickets about Furbo, treat dispenser errors are up. Second, find the pattern. Is this a one-time thing or a recurring issue? Look for trends, like treat dispenser errors spike every time we release a new app update. Third, map the system. What processes, teams, or parts of Furbo are involved? For example, app update process, treat dispenser hardware, app device communication system. Fourth, question your mental models. What assumptions are we making? Are they still true? For example, are we assuming our testing process catches all bugs related to hardware interaction? Lastly, check against the vision. How does solving this help us bring joy to pet parents? Does it align with customer love? Is fixing treat dispenser errors directly increases customer joy and product reliability?
Just follow these 5 steps whenever you face a challenge. You'll be amazed at how much clearer things become when you look at the levels of perspective.
Let's quickly recap the key takeaways. First, events are just the start. Don't stop at the surface. Second, patterns show you trends. Look for what repeats. Third, systems reveal the cause. Understand the underlying structures. Fourth, mental models shape your view. Question your assumptions. And lastly, vision guides your direction. Always aim for the ultimate goal.
Levels of perspective is your tool to think deeper, solve smarter, and make a bigger impact at Tomofun. It's about being strategic, not just reactive, and always keeping our vision as our guide.
Your challenge this week is to try the 5-step action plan. Pick a problem or opportunity you're working on and use levels of perspective to analyze it.
Welcome to share your experiences and what you learn with us on WP Chat or when you are in the second orientation with HR. We're excited to see how you use this framework.
And don't forget to do the quiz to let us know that you finished this course. Thanks for joining us on Culture Class. We hope you're feeling ready to think deeper and solve